Hello and welcome to another session of Karen's Colours. I'm Dr. Karen and these are my colour conversations. It's that time again for another monthly reading, and this time we're going to be looking at each of your birthday months in terms of what will happen in December. For this month's reading, I've decided to use a very simple oracle card to accompany it. It's called the Mystic Journey Oracle, and it consists of a card with a single word. And let's see what it has to say that might accompany the readings that are to follow. I certainly hope you've been getting something positive out of the readings I've been doing this year. I'll continue on for a little while longer before I make a decision about whether or not to continue them. They haven't received a great deal of interest so far, but I'm extremely hopeful. And as Cash Peters would have it, just keep on. If it's your soul's journey, you'll get there. So that's where I'm going. All right, I'd like to welcome back those of you who have been following this series of sessions, and I hope that your colour readings for each month have had something of interest for you that's helped to guide you through that month. It has been a very tumultuous year across the world, and we're now coming to the close of it, and hopefully by the end of this upcoming month, we'll be back to some sort of normality for the new year for 2026. But for now, let's just look at December 2025. If you're new here, this is not the sort of reading that you would find in a tarot reading. This is done per month because we tend to resonate to our birth months regardless of our cultural backgrounds, and also because colours don't read quite the same as tarot cards do. But I hope you'll find it interesting enough to come back. Let's see, shall we? A reading for people born in the month of August for December 2025. Let's begin with an oracle card. And we'll pop it under there for the time being. And now I want a colour reading for people born in the month of August for their December 2025. And we begin with red on blue, orange on grey, blue on green, and the underlying colour is grey on grey. Grey is repeated 3 times in this reading. Once as a combination that has the same colour top and bottom, and that means that this is an important aspect of the reading itself. It also appears in the majority part of the month as the underlying driver for that energy. We also have blue appearing twice, once as the need or drive for the incoming energy, and then as the action for the outgoing energy. Let's see what this means. Grey on grey has to do with uncertainty, confusion, trying to find a middle road, trying to maintain the status quo regardless of what is happening around. Grey is a composite colour. It is a combination of black and white. So it's a combination of 2 extremes, the extremes of being able to see and do everything and anything, and the extreme of having to maintain absolute silence and withdrawal from everything. So somewhere in the middle here, we have that grey association. How do we find what it is that we need? Grey internally is a desire for that middle road. Grey externally is a seeking of that middle road. Now, in coming into the energy, or the energy coming into December, is red over blue. Red and blue together as a combination always indicate parental energy. Red is the fathering energy, blue is the nurturing mother energy. And what we have here as a combination together, when we mix the two colors, you end up with child energy, that is purple, which is all about making changes. But these changes that are coming to you at the beginning of December are changes that are split. There is a need internally, a drive towards some sort of organization. You need to do your duty. There are things that need to be done, and you are the one that needs to do them because nobody else can or will. In the real world, you know that this need or drive requires the use and expenditure of a great deal of energy. So there is this moving outwards, this getting things done, grabbing at opportunities, jumping at every task that needs doing, moving from one task to another, a rapid transition from this, let's just get ourselves organized, to let's try everything all at once. So it's a throwing energy around massively. It's a fiery energy in that it allows you to make choices, but the choices that you're making are based on the red, not the blue. The blue is the drive for peace and quiet. The red is the, I just want to jump at whatever it is that takes my fancy at the time. And the red also in our culture says, stop, consider, don't do anything that might be dangerous. So there's a warning inherent in this particular energy with which you're coming into the month, because your decisions are based on impulse rather than on consideration. If we have red over grey, then what we find here is the need or drive for overcoming uncertainty, that need for wanting a middle road comes through as, look, middle roads don't really count. I've just got to do whatever it is that I want to do at the time. So this is risk-taking as a result of being uncertain as to what it is that you really need to do. On the other hand, you can have grey over blue. The need is one of having to get yourself organized, your place stable, your life as stable and as calm as you possibly can. In the real world, however, you're not quite sure that you've done what it is that is necessary. So there is a resistance here in this to saying that, yes, I've managed to achieve what I want because of what I'm doing, because you're not so sure that what you are doing is in fact creating the stability that you want. By the middle of the month, we have orange over grey. The grey as that need to overcome uncertainty, that need for finding a middle road, which is part of your underlying energy here, continues. But this time, instead of creating red, which is here, where you've jumped at every opportunity and you've done things on impulse, now you're having to live with the consequences of that impulse. Orange means overcoming a drama, overcoming a crisis, having to survive. So if you spilt blood here, if you were careless and did something foolish back here, now by the middle of December, all those chickens have come home to roost, and now you have to deal with the consequences of whatever it is that caused you to make these decisions back here. If we take these colors and we cross them over, the orange on grey is exactly the same as we have here, and the grey on grey is exactly the same as we have here. So by the middle of the month, what you are doing and your underlying energies are pretty well aligned. It doesn't matter which way you turn, you're still going to find that need or drive to overcome that uncertainty, for finding the middle road, finding the path that is perhaps the easiest to travel, maybe, depends, is the one that is going to cause you to have to face up to some reality. By the end of the month, we have blue over green. Now, the nurturing drive that existed back here at the beginning of the month now has become an action. You're actually finding yourself organizing your life comfortably. In this time, however, It is as a result of the driver that is green. Green is a need for new pastures. It's a need for trying something new, something different, taking an opportunity when it comes. Green and blue, try again. Green and red, as we know, are opposites on the color wheel. And so here we have an action that started off the month where you are impulsively doing whatever it is that took your fancy. Now, internally, you're starting to realize, probably as a result of having faced these consequences back here, that your values are under challenge. You now need to realize that there are other options. There are greener lights that you can allow yourself to follow. You don't have to be constantly banging your head up against the red. Together, the green and the blue create a form of relationships. Actually, this is what this one's all about. It's about relationships. It's about friendships. It's about finding those people in the real world who are able to create calm and peace in your life while at the same time doing things that are novel. Now, the blue over grey is the opposite of what we had here, the grey over blue. Here, the need for peace and quiet and everything in its place comes through as I'm not quite sure that I've managed to attain that. Here we've got, I need to find that middle road, but now you're able to find that. You're able to organize yourself so that that middle road is visible and traversable. On the other hand, you have grey over green. Green is the drive to try something new, to head off in a different direction, to find new values, new ways of looking at things. In the real world, though, you're not quite sure which ones to choose. So in many ways, this whole business of the grey uncertainty as an underlying energy throughout the month means that you're going to have times of being up and down. Here, you're up. Here, you're down. Here, you're having to face the reality of what happened when you were up, which is actually leading you to the feeling down again. Let's have a look at the colours that we're missing and see whether they shed any more light on this. There's no black and there's no white. Even though the most prominent colour here, the grey, consists of black and white as colours in their own right, they don't exist. You've got red, but no yellow. You have green and blue, but no brown. You have orange and grey aplenty. There's no purple, although it does exist in this combination here. There's no pink, and there is no cyan. So here we have 5 skills that you are using throughout the month of December that will enable you to traverse this path, dealing with all of this uncertainty and confusion and the need to find some alternative that leads you peacefully along. Because ultimately, peace is what you're looking for. That's what is the driver to start off with, and it's the action in the end of the month. What you have missing are these colours. Black, the ability to withdraw and to contemplate what you have learnt. White, the ability to deal with whatever new information comes towards you. Yellow, the ability to digest and remember experiences. Brown, the ability to work towards specific goals by attaining specific skills. Purple, the ability to make major changes in your life through both a creative and a destructive process. Pink, the ability to be both vulnerable and loving and caring towards others. And cyan, the ability to create that ultimate stability that enables you to feel blissful in every aspect of your life. So of these 7 colours, which is the most appealing and which is the least appealing? Choose those 2 and put them into your life somehow. Make sure that you expose yourself to them on a daily basis. And when you do so, you'll find that the combination of this grey with all of these other colours will begin to develop into something different. And maybe, just maybe, by the time you get here, where there is a certain degree of freedom to please yourself, you'll be able to do so in a way that doesn't harm you or anybody else. Let's have a look at what the Oracle has to say on the subject. Spark. All right, spark. What does a spark require? A spark requires an ignition source. It requires fuel. And although it's spark, it's only fairly short-lived. Perhaps that's what this grey refers to. I'm uncertain, but I can ignite something. Think about it carefully, because this is all about thinking and choices and what comes after those choices are made. Well, the reading has been fairly short this time. That's partially because of the time constraints. December is a very busy month for most of us, so I don't have much time, and I dare say neither do you. And I dare say that a shorter reading would be far more beneficial to you. But I do have an offer on the table. If you've gotten this far and you've actually listened to the entirety of the reading and you feel it has something in it for you, why not contact me on my Gmail account, which is in the description. I'll also put it in the show notes. And in doing so, take up an offer of a free personal reading that we can do either via Zoom, such as a discussion here and now, or I can do it anonymously for you. But you need to ask for it. The decision is yours. In the meantime, thank you for watching. I greatly appreciate it. And if you have any questions or any comments to make, those would be appreciated down in the comment section, which tends to be fairly bare most of the time. Anyway, may you have a wonderful December. May the colours that you choose work for you in a way that enables you to feel at peace and in harmony with the world and all around. And let's look forward to a 2026 that is a little less chaotic than this year has been. Until next time, bye.